Hi. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Candace and I'm an independent Optavia coach. Recently, I have cracked my code for creating my schedule and creating containers in my life. And I've been getting a few messages back and forth and questions from people about how I created it, what program I used. And so I just thought it'd be really cool to create a little tutorial on how I did it really quickly. Now, here's the thing about these. Annie Bauman, I think, was the first person that gave me the idea about creating containers. And then, we've heard Dan and Megan talk about rocks in our schedules. And so that idea, I just wanted to give you a few words before. So that idea always overwhelmed me because I thought, how am I ever going to create a schedule and containers in my day with everything that I have going on and everything that I do? Hashtag mom life. I also own a small photography business and it's taken a little more of a part-time thing. But anyway, so that the thought of it overwhelmed me. However, once I got to it, it's really not overwhelming at all. And so I'm just gonna share my screen really quick and kind of walk you through the process. So this is the month of August for me. When we first see it, it looks really overwhelming, right? Yeah. So I like to go into it we're gonna find it. I like to do the week view. Little less overwhelming. And this is where I chose to create mine. And I have actually utilized Google Calendar to do this. I imagine that Apple Calendar, the iCal, has a very similar platform. I am personally a fan of Google and their calendar system. So when I started this, you see I have a lot of white space in my calendar. Yeah, that was news to me. I didn't realize that there were so many areas in my life that I really didn't have anything going on. And I kind of started to think, what am I doing with this time? So I began very simply by creating a task. And for me, the first thing that I wanted to pencil in were things that I knew I needed to get done in the day, but it was helter-skelter throughout the day. And I wanted a little more structure, but not so much structure that it was an event on my calendar every day and that it stopped me from being able to do other things, because this is a very flexible business, being a coach, and doing your business building activities is very flexible. So let's say I did social media, and it was set as a task, and you can go here. And instead of it saying does not repeat, you just click and go through and decide on what days at what time, at that time, that you want it to repeat throughout the week. Everybody's schedule is different. Some people work 5 days a week. Some people work 2 days a week, and they have to be able to move their task around. For me, it was straightforward. I needed to be able to do this every single day. And so you would go through, click on weekly. I'll say weekly on Thursday. So that's the only time that I'm going to have that. And if you'd like to add a description, you can, but I don't. It's pretty straightforward for me. So I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to show you in my day how I've done it. So we'll start at the very beginning of the day. You can see that very first thing in the morning with my coffee, I'm responding to Facebook messages. And it takes me I allot 30 minutes of my day to do it. And here, do you see this? The really cool thing about the task system for Google, it might be like this for iCal. The really cool thing is that I get to mark it as complete. I usually use my phone because I have the app on my phone too. I live and die by my Google Calendar on my phone. So you're able to mark it as complete and it's crossed off, and you get to see that you took care of it for that day. As you can see, we're on Thursday, and I had a meeting happen and housework and all of these things happen at one area of my day. So I wasn't able to cross that off, but I kind of see why. But here we are in this area, and I have been able to cross it off. Anyway, now the things that are rocks in my schedule are working out. So that is created with the event part. And to create an event in Google Calendar, you just click events, and it's going to automatically default to the day that you're on. And you type in the title of the event. You can give a little description. And even anytime that you're hitting create, you have an opportunity to utilize any of these things. And so for me, an event is something that I'm either going to be doing with photography, or it's going to be a client call. I utilize Calendly, which syncs with my Google Calendar, and lets me know when calls have been scheduled. And you can even see over here on Saturday, that's part of my time that I do client support. Somebody has scheduled something, and so it pops up on my calendar. And even here on Monday, you can see that. So I use Google Calendar, and here's what happened for me. When I started filling in the things that I knew I wanted to get done, and kind of the times a day that I wanted to be able to stop and do them, as they went around the things that are rocks in my schedule. I know that I'm going to have to be able to take care of some photography business. I'm going to need to clean my house. I'm going to have calls with my mentorship, those sorts of things. And I'm going to have dinner with my family. I want to try to do that. That's a rock in my schedule. I want family time at that time every evening. And then after the fact, after I'm all said and done. What I found was that I was not actually very busy. I didn't actually have a lot of things going on. There were a lot of white spaces in my day. And this has helped me in the last 2 days tremendously. So I'll check back in a week or so to see how this goes. And the other thing I felt like is worth mentioning is that, first of all, I get an alert when it's time. I get an alert on my watch when it's time for a task to be completed. That's important to me. I need accountability in that way. And the second thing I wanted to note is that I have set a deadline on these. So when you go to create and say I'm creating a task, when you go in to set the time that you want it to repeat, you can go into custom and you can select when it ends. For me, I've decided to give this a shot for a full 2 months, and I will end October 2nd. Just to see where I'm at. And also, seasons of our life are all different. And what worked for me in this season as school's getting started back up is probably not going to work for me in the busiest season for photographers and for, high school football. I have a kid in marching band. So those things are going to shift for me. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available to answer any questions, help you walk through it. I hope it helped.